The Council reports to the Minister of Health through an Assistant Deputy Minister, who is the Executive Director of the Ontario Drugs Program. The purpose of our Council is to bring citizens, ordinary citizens from across Ontario together to discuss and deliberate about issues dealing with the values and morals and ethical concerns of about the Ontario Drugs Program and other health-related issues. There's 25 of us, and we get together twice a year for 3 days. The first part of our meeting is spent learning. We learn from a variety of experts in the field and patients as well. And the second part, we speak to each other, we break into groups, and we employ deliberative dialogue so that we make sure we listen very carefully to one another. At the end, we write a report. The report is given to the Executive Director. My advice would be to listen carefully to one another, to make sure that they understand the question or the concern that's put before them so they don't wander off in different directions, to evaluate what the session is like so that you can always improve it. I think it should be something that you can change, that the report is clear and reflects the viewpoints of the group. In our first discussion that we had on drugs for rare diseases, it took such a long time for our committee to get operating that by the time we had deliberated, we really affirmed what the minister had decided to go ahead with already, which perhaps was helpful, but they couldn't wait, so it took a little bit long until we were able to come together and come to conclusion. Not our fault, but just the whole structure. The others are a little bit more difficult to assess because we've been told that the results sometimes take a while to happen. That the deliberations that we have will become part of their thinking, but you might not see any direct result right away. We learned a tremendous amount about the Ontario Drugs Program, which I don't think any of us had any kind of a knowledge about. And it is amazing because many of us feel that ordinary citizens in Ontario should have some sort of understanding about that too. So it's interesting that one of our recommendations in almost every report is that there be better communication with the general public in Ontario. To stay focused on what our mandate is, which is discussing morals and ethical values. It's much easier to say how to do something, when to do something, who should do something, rather than talk about those really important underpinning values. So that was difficult for us to get familiar with, but I think that we're a lot more familiar with it now. We've learned we're having a turnover of members, and we now, I think, regret that we didn't record some of the beginning orientation sessions because they were excellent, and we're not going to be able to do that for every member that comes on board after this. So we have made learnings and we have made some adjustments along the way. We have a period of time in between meetings. Sometimes reading is sent out to us, which keeps us involved, and I think that's a very good thing, especially when the reading doesn't come all at once. It's over a period of time. So if an interesting article or experience happens, that we might share that with each other.